back on my YouTube live stream with everyone here. Okay? Now, I'm so happy and excited, you guys. We all are powerful individuals, chosen ones. Wow. Look at yourself. This video is just going to be about rejoicing and feeling gratitude and happiness because it's clear as daylight. They're showing us that we are actually the one that God has chosen and out of this world and set us apart. So if you're a targeted individual, an empowered individual, that means that you are one of God's chosen, one of God's elected ones. You're, what does that say? You're in the world, but you're not of the world. You don't belong to the world. The world will hate you because you're not like the world. Just like it hated Jesus. And this is just validation. It's like your spiritual eyes are open and you see everything for what it is because you're the light and you can see all the darkness, all the madness, all the chaotic destruction of the people around you and the wrongdoings. You're a leader. You're here to guide. You're not to be controlled by these negative Nancy's around the world around you. They don't have that power over you. They recognize your power. They know that you're a powerful individual. And that's why it takes a whole bunch of people, groups of people to be around and trying to get to you. There's a reason why, you guys. There's a reason why it they have to do everything covertly. They won't do it up front because they're aware of that. They can't lie to you. They can't deceive you. They can't easily control you. They can't easily persuade you and mislead you because God has spoken to you about who you are and you know who you are. And so these little demonic workers for Satan, they have to do everything in the dark. They have to stay in the dark and do everything in the dark behind you and away from you where you can't see. But you're the light and you shed that Holy Spirit upon their wrongdoings. And no one's perfect, but targeted individuals have wisdom, and wisdom gives you the ability to be free, to experience freedom, and to be authentically yourself when you're wise. When you have that wisdom, even in the Bible it talks about wisdom. It talks about that the righteous ones will speak words of wisdom. The foolish, the unrighteous ones will speak words of foolishness and lies. And so the devil is a liar. He's been trying to lie to us for so long. And I mean they're mad. They're mad because they can't get to us. They can't get to you. They can lie all they want. But it is always going to be what it is, the truth. They can't hide from that truth of who you really are. And so with this video, I want to say that don't go back to your own vomit. Don't be a dog that goes back to its own vomit. That's what these people want to try to make you do. To go back to your old ways. To go back to that toxic, dysfunctional, abusive job. So I'm going to give you guys an example of what I mean by this. So I experienced workplace mobbing, right? I've been sharing this story a lot, but this is a perfect example of what I'm gonna explain right now. I went to a job interview and it was so unethical and it was so violating of my own privacy and personal. They were asking very personal and very sensitive information about me. And this is how these deceptive Decepticons, whatever you want to call them, these Satan workers. I don't know a good name for them, but um, they were trying so hard to infiltrate my own personal life by asking personal questions that they had no business asking. And it was an interview for a fast food restaurant, and they started first shaking my hand. I also want to comment on that. Be careful who you allow to shake your hand, who you allow to touch. Not every person that comes around you should be putting their hands on you. Every time they put their hands on you, they pat you. It's an energy. They're taking your energy. They're putting their negativity onto you. Um, that's how demonic spirits get attached as well. When you touch each other, believe it or not, you're still transmuting that. Still transmuting that negative energy onto you, and giving you like their traumas, all that. So this is all very real. Touching is like something that's personal. It's your personal space, and they're violating it. So don't let anyone who's negative, who doesn't have good intentions, who has bad energy, try to pat you or try to be buddy buddy with you. Be very careful with that. Or shake your hand, and the whole time they're trying to they're a snake. So um let's continue. So that job interview, um I sat down, I waited a while. It took a while for them to get organized because they were going to ask personal questions. And as soon as I sit down, they shake my hand, and then they started asking me questions that had nothing to do with a job interview. The first question was, um, what do you usually order when you come here? What's your favorite order that you like to order here? And I was like, I like to order that chicken sandwich right there. That's really good. They're like, oh yeah, that's a really good choice. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Thank you. And then they asked, what are we famous for? And I said, oh, the burgers. They're like, no, not quite. We're famous for the breakfast serving all day. I was like, oh, okay. And then they asked me, they asked me for my schedule and what days I was available to work, and if I was a student, and what year I was in, and what I was studying as well. And then they asked me, do you live alone? And I said yes. And then they said, and do you ever plan on moving back with your family? And I was like, no. And then, but it's just a question, now that I think about it. Who would ask such like invasive questions that have nothing to do with the job itself? And it has everything to do with my own personal life experience and my own personal life. Like, that's none of their business. And asking questions like that just goes to show that they were trying to see where my weaknesses were, and if I was alone, if I had support, this and that. They were just trying to find cues. And they asked me that question, and then they also asked me, do you ever plan on moving out? Do you plan on moving out anytime soon? And I was like, do I plan on moving out anytime soon? Why do they care if I plan on moving out anytime soon? what does that have to do with the job itself if I plan to move somewhere else? And these questions were not job interview questions. This was a personal, it wasn't even an interview, it was just questions of my personal life. Each one: do you live alone? Do you plan on moving back with your family? Do you ever plan on moving out? So, these questions were all just uncalled for. And this is what goes to show how this targeting individual program goes. That they'll just ask directly and they can't even hide it. And behind the manager and this other supervisor that were there was a spy, an agent, just standing there and turning around looking at me while I was answering and just taking note and absorbing all the information when I was answering the questions. And this goes to show that, you know, demons, whatever you want to call them, they're spying on us heavily right now because they're afraid. They're trying to figure us out. And they can't figure us out. No matter how much they try to gain personal information, it's like they're trying to put the pieces together. And they just can't, because God is keeping us hidden right now. And we should be hidden. We should be very low-key. We should be very low profile during these times. Because they're technically trying to make us go back to our own vomit. So they can control us. So they can make us conform. So they can try to persuade us, try to bribe us. So we have to be very aware of their tactics because they're getting intense right now. The tactics of targeting individual, the program, it's getting more and more intense because like they say, they know that their time is running short. And yeah, I mean, and then they also sent me a message. They sent me a message and they said, "Oh, are you still," a text message, "Are you still interested in the job position? We can schedule the job interview the next day, early in the morning." And I'm thinking to myself, didn't I go in for a job interview? Wasn't that the whole purpose of me attending that place so I can get interviewed for a job? And all they asked was personal questions about my family structure and if I plan what do I plan on doing with my life. And they said, yeah, we're gonna schedule another real job interview. So they're just trying to build a resume, build a report of personal stuff in my life. But what was that all about? I'm just, wow. So they know you're it. They know who you are. That's why they have to try their hardest to gain access to your personal life because they're aware of your power. They're aware of who you are as a person. And that's why you got people lurking in the shadows, spying on us, because they know who we are. They're very much aware, and it's spiritual warfare. That's exactly what it is. Demons just spying on angels, trying to deceive, trying to get some form of control and power over them so they can dictate their lives. They want to dictate our lives. They want to have control over our lives. And so that's why they gain personal information so they can try to use it in a way that can be used against us. But it was just hectic. Like that whole job interview, I was like, I felt so, I don't know how to explain it, but I ended up leaving there feeling like confused. Like, what was that all about? Like, Why would they ask questions like that? So the agent behind them that was standing there, he was preparing these people, the manager and the other person, to interview me that way, to ask those personal questions. But yeah, then they send me a text message saying, "Oh, let's schedule a job interview." 2 job interviews? No, it's like they literally exposed everything out in the open. They weren't even they weren't even organized in the way that they did all of this. It was just all out in front of me like, okay, we're going to ask you personal questions and then now we want to do another interview. What the other interview was probably going to consist of more personal questions. They weren't done. They wanted to continue to see what else they can obtain about me. And this can happen to you guys. So I just want to share my experience. So I learned too because I didn't learn. But now I know better. But as for you guys as well, they ask personal questions. Don't answer them. They have no business knowing. Don't let these demons into your life. Like they don't belong there. They have nothing but bad intentions. So use the spirit of discernment. So yeah, I mean, I didn't even respond back. I'm like, I'm not taking that job. Nope. I'm not ever gonna go back to that place. Especially if they did that to me. But they were like, oh, we could work here. No, thank you. I do not plan on working for you guys. They were trying to see what my vulnerabilities were. And, yeah. I explained it. I shared it yesterday, and many people were saying that they were potential abusers. That they're potential manipulators, abusers. So yeah, I'm just leaving it like that. I'm not even gonna give them any text back. I mean, my silence, no response is a greater response because they know what they were doing, so I don't have to respond back to their text. And it was their text message. They couldn't even call because they know what they're doing is wrong. They know what they're doing is wrong. It's illegal to ask questions like that. It's even job interview questions should only be based on your job, not about personal stuff. So and I kind of knew the energy was off as well. I sensed the energy was off when I went in for the job interview. I felt like something was off, and it was. I wasn't wrong, but I should have left before that interview began. Cause it's like my intuition was telling me like get out, leave, get out. This something's not right. Like the way they're acting is just suspicious. They were even acting suspicious. Like their faces, the face that they had, and their body language, the energy, it was all off before the interview. They were just staring and like this and like getting ready. But one question that I found very confusing was, do you plan on moving back with your family? Like, why do they want to know so bad if I plan on moving back with my family? Like, is it my parent that's behind this and that's why they're asking that? Is it my father that's behind this and that's why they're asking, do you plan on moving back with your family? Who knows? But if I'm a targeted individual, how am I gonna move back with my family if if they already slandered and made false allegations about me? They have a profile of me. How would that work? How would that work if they literally have me isolated? I don't think you guys understand. Some of you guys don't understand. And I'm just deleting the comments. So yeah, they're trying to keep us in oppression. They're trying to keep us in oppression, but they recognize who we are. And they're just hoping that we don't recognize, but we already know who we are. So, thank you for the contribution. So, yeah, I mean, but I mean, from the beginning, they already exposed it all. From the very jump, like, they didn't even hide it. It was just like, boom, in your face. Here, let me ask personal questions. Wow. And that's the crazy thing, is that the devil no longer wants to hide. It's like they're just getting so desperate. That's the word I was looking for. They're getting so desperate and so needy, and they're just they're wow. Mhm. Yeah, they're getting so desperate because they try and try, and it's like taking way too much energy for them, and they can't even fake it anymore. It's just like they tried to put on an act, and it's like you could just see that it's just a what do you call it? It's just a show. It's not really authentic. It's just a way to try to get in your head. But yeah, they're desperate. Yeah, facade. That's Yep, it's a facade. We could see through it. I mean, the more that we are authentically ourselves, the more that we express ourselves, the easier it is to see them. Like, they just stand out because we're being authentic, and then these fake people, it's like they stand out. The more we are our real selves, the more these fake people will stand out, because we're standing in our true power. We're standing in who we really are and who God called us, chosen us to be. And boom, it's like your adversary is roaring like a lion, but they can't devour you because you're ahead of them, and they're behind you, following your footsteps, listening and spying and watching and eavesdropping. But yeah, no, they do recognize our light. They really do recognize our light, our energy. Mm-hmm. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be sending all these agents our way. If they didn't recognize something about us that was peculiar, that was um, powerful within us. So they do recognize who we are. We're not just we're not just like everyone else. That's why we go through so much more adversities, so much more trials and tribulations. And we have light in our eyes, our presence, our energy. It's powerful. People feel it. People see that we move differently, we talk differently, we think differently, we act differently, we are different. The way we dress, everything about us is just peculiar, and that's what's strange. It's what God says. They fear what they don't understand. And so they do see us. They really do. And we see them. Just like they see us, we see them. So they see our light. We see their darkness. And that's why they're fearful. So, yeah. I think I made a point right there. So, yeah. What was I saying? So yeah, they know, chosen ones, they know that you're the one. That's why you got all these agents, stalkers, and they're getting scared because they've tried different tactics. And the more you shine your light, the more it's difficult for them to lie about you. So, but anyways, I got some notes that I took down, and I want to read them to you guys. So I got this Bible scripture that says Revelations 12:9 says, so the great dragon was cast out, and that serpent of old called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So what does that mean? That means that while everyone is under control, everyone is being told what to do, and their whole life is being governed, and they're just being pawns trying to fit in, and they're all under great deception. They don't understand the lies. And chosen ones, we see right through everything. We are not being deceived. Satan has not gotten to us, and he will not get to us, because God is highly protecting us, and our angels as well. Our guardian angels are always with us. Just like Satan sends his little people to be lurking and watching us, we have our guardian angels watching over us as well. There really is. There are guardian angels even walking this earth, and some of them are real people. You see, I've shared constantly the story of the time that I met another chosen one, and just beautiful. His soul was so beautiful, and he protected me. He was like, "Oh, be careful! There's someone right there, and he could probably be violent or something." And he told me, "Be careful and make sure you walk the other way around." So he was protecting me that at that moment. There's people like that who are in our lives. Just like they are watching us, they think that no one's watching them. There's always someone watching them as well. And I'm being honest with you guys. they stand and they just want to stalk you and eavesdrop and listen into everything that you're doing outside in public, there's someone watching them and seeing what they're doing. They think that all eyes are on us, but there's also eyes on them as well. There's also people who admire us, believe it or not. There's also people who are genuine. And just like God is watching over us and our angels are watching over us, Satan is watching us as well and his little workers. But God is also looking at Satan's workers and seeing what they're doing. And that's why God says, vengeance is mine. Because God sees what they're doing. He sees how they're trying to deceive chosen ones, to go against chosen ones, to harm chosen ones, to, what is it called? Form weapons against chosen ones. And he protects us so those weapons will not prosper and will not affect us gravely. So yes. Yes, they will fall into their own traps. You're exact correct. Yes, no weapon will prosper. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. And every tongue that rises against us shall be condemned. So all those lies, they all should face being condemned by the Most High. So, because when I was filming my videos, my YouTube videos outside, right? These gang stalkers think they're being slick, that they're listening to you in a covertly manner. But I've been able to see them constantly. They just stand there and listen. And it's just the light. I think the Holy Spirit, it reveals everything like quickly. Like my discernment is strong, it's powerful. And I quickly see these deceivers standing, listening. And I just see it. They're just standing like that and, listening like that. But they're being sent by the handler. And they're just gang stalkers and they're just listening. But I was able to see them. As soon as I was done filming, I see them just doing that. So even I can see them just lurking in the shadows. So yeah. But I'm pretty sure there's someone else who can also see them too. Who sees that they're just spying, that they're just trying to gain information. There's some people who know what's going on. Some people who are aware of what's going on, but they're scared to speak out because they don't want to be the one that will end up being targeted. They don't want to end up being a targeted individual and have to go through all the harassment and all the torture and all the lies and everything that's being said about us. They don't want to have to go through that, so they just decide to just be a bystander in silence and not speak up about stuff like that. But there's some people who are aware. And that's what I've came to the realization of. That there are some people who know. And other people are no better because they laugh. They think it's fun. They think it's amusing to them. Those are sick people right there. Those are sick people. And that's the word I'm going to use. Because they lack empathy. Oh no, this is spiritual. It's all spiritual realm. But it manifests in the physical realm. And that's how I think of it. So I think everything first starts in the spiritual sense and it'll manifest in the physical realm. Like, let's say the spirit of jealousy. I mean, in the spiritual realm, it's a demonic spirit. Jealousy is a negative. It's a bad spirit to have. To be jealous, to be ungrateful. And it manifests in the physical realm how? The faces, the body language, all that. But it starts with the spirit. Everything starts first with the spirit and the mind. So that's how I see it. I see it like that. And even the faces that these agents will make when they're like, they listen, but they go like this, like they get mad and they do this. And you could just see the evilness. You can see the evilness in their eyes. It's like the demons come out of them. Oh, that's scary. I'm sorry, I'm talking real stuff right now. But yes, you really do see demons in people. Their faces and everything. It really does. Um, okay, so yeah, that's one of the scriptures I have. And yeah, I mean, most people are being deceived by Satan and misled. So these people that are being sent to us, they're misled. They're misguided. They're ignorant. They have a lack of consciousness. And consciousness is something real, when you have a high consciousness, you're aware of things, but low consciousness, and it's still the same thing. It's like you're not aware of what's really going on around you. You're just going day by day, living your life, but with no understanding of why you were placed here. And that's why they get so easily controlled. That's why it's very important that we have self-acceptance and that we always speak to God every time. Because He's the one that's going to remind us of what He told us about who we are and what we're destined for. And we can't doubt ourselves. We can't doubt what God has already placed within us, our spirit, and our blessings and everything. We can't doubt. We can't be double-minded. We have to stay in faith, walk in faith, and believe. And that's how we protect ourselves, and we don't let these little demons get into our life when we doubt ourselves. Yeah, it's like the thoughts of other people are not really theirs. But yeah, these people are being misled, and I hope they wake up, because they have to get saved, and that's if they have to wake up. They need spiritual eyes to see. Because Satan has lied to them. And they're believing everything that Satan says. I mean, people are walking by sight. They're walking by whatever they see, whatever they hear. If they see something on the news, on the media, on someone who has authority, someone in a higher position, who looks like someone they can trust, they will not even think twice. They'll just see it, and then they'll believe it, and then that's their truth. Even when it's not even a truth, it's a lie that they're eating up, that they're being fed. Just a bunch of lies. And when you walk by faith, you see the whole entire bigger picture of a situation, of a person. And you'll be able to actually walk by faith, where God is guiding you, where God is taking you, and it's a narrow path. And like it says, the broader path is leading to destruction, to people's own demise. The narrow path is leading to peace, happiness, to fulfillment, and just faith, being in faith. And you're walking the righteous path towards salvation, towards being saved. You're not being blinded by Satan. So, but yeah, like I said, their perception is different. Yeah, they're soulless vessels. Because they're walking by sight. You walk by faith, you walk in the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. Has to be spiritual, because how can they not see what the media be doing? But you tell me, these what do you call it? Decepticons? They're obsessed. They're desperate. They're needy of our energy, of our light, and they will never leave us alone. Because we can go on about our day, doing our own thing, minding our own business, living our life, but these little gang stalkers, agents, they just can't. They 24/7. They're on constantly, just trying to infiltrate our lives and lead us into the darkness along with them. They want us to be in the dark with them. So get them out of your life. Like, don't even waste your time. They are acting as a one-minded program. So we have to unplug. We need to unplug from these people. Because their mindset, it really is in the third dimension. It's selfishness, greed, deceit, manipulation, negativity, gossip, drama, attention seeking behavior, um, just speaking foolishness, trying to waste our time, trying to make us doubt ourselves, gaslighting us, prideful. They're prideful. So, jealous, envious, two-faced, backstabbers. That's all. That's all darkness right there. And we have to detach ourselves from that. We have to get away, unplug, detach ourselves from people like that. They bring us nothing into our life. Nothing. They bring nothing. Absolutely nothing. And they just want to use us for their own personal gains. They want to use us to do more evil. How can I say that? They use our energy to use as evil towards us. So okay. Corrupt. Corruption as well. Deceit. Yes, yeah. So there's another scripture that's very true. Colossians 5:21. It says, "Test all good things. Hold fast what is good." Hold fast what is good. No, they don't have love. They have ego. They operate with their ego. They are predictable in their tactics. Yes. Yes, they are. So test all things. Hold fast what is good. So yeah, once you guys already are aware of who these people are, don't let them tell you twice or 3 times. Because that's what they try to do. They try to play the nice game again and come back. These agents will act like angels of light and then try to wreak havoc in your life, try to set you up, try to do something foul to you, and then they'll disappear for a while, and they'll wait a while, and then they'll try to come back again and do the same thing over again, and then disappear, and then reappear, and try you again. We have to learn each test and pass that test, but once we pass it, we don't have to continue to retake that test over and over again because we've already passed it. So that goes with anyone. You know, we live and we learn. And I've had several times where I had to learn the hard way. But now it's like, now that I know better, I know best, I'm going to do better. Because then if you already have all the wisdom, you carry all that information, but you're not using it, then it's not serving you any good. You can see the test before it's even written out. That's a great way to put it, yes. You can. Because they get desperate. I'm gonna keep saying that word, but it's what I see. You know how many community-based agents were getting so desperate they would just come near me and out of the blue just ask personal questions. Where do you work? What do you do? What's this and that and that. So much about me, but like they offer little to no information about themselves. But they want to interview you, but they're not going to disclose anything about themselves. But they want you to disclose every little bit of information that you have to offer, and then they'll run with that information and then leave and disappear because that's all they were there for. That's all they were there for, to find anything about you. So, disappear, and then out of the blue, they'll come back. But we have to continue to expose the truth. I think since they're working so difficult, I mean, not here, but yeah. Yes, you have to, their disclosures are lies. Yes, yes, Yeah, everything they say is a lie. Like, I'm a good person too. I I love spirituality too. Oh yeah, I love doing the same thing that you do. Oh, you're into that? I'm into that too. They start mirroring you. Everything you say is like they agree. And you barely know this person. But I'm just giving you guys tips. I think this video is just gonna be very informative. But I'm pretty sure you guys already know all this stuff, but it's good to share it and hear it from other people that go through the same stuff, same experiences as one. Okay, so that leads me to Matthew 24:6. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. And that goes with many false prophets and false gods will rise up. And I think that's what we're living in right now. People playing God, rising up. I mean, people in higher positions playing God, leading people. And they're idealizing those people in higher positions. And they're taking their words as if they're all being truthful and genuine people. So yeah, that's technically what's taking place right now. Um, Satan has deceived many people in the darkness, into the darkness. And that's why gang stalking is getting, they're recruiting more and more people as well, because they know that we're getting stronger, and they know that they don't have enough energy to continuously try, so they have to get a bunch of younger people, a bunch of people that can help them. And so yeah, that's what gang stalking is: individuals who unite to persecute an individual. And mobbing is a way of destroying a person without using any physical means. Degrading themes are often used to try to prevent people from coming forward. And these operations are designed to intimidate and destabilize targeted individuals. TIs by subjecting them to repeated disappointment and to socially alienate them by interfering and disrupting with their relationships. So when you think about that, you think about how so many people have bought the lie and they're comfortable in darkness and they hold on to it. They don't want to let it go. So they try to make us feel miserable because they're miserable. Misery, and because they're jealous. And so, many people would try to take our position, would try to um, mislead us, misguide us, tell us that we're doing the wrong thing, that we should be punished for knowing the truth, for walking in the light. And that's why. That just goes to show that you are doing the right thing. If you get so much attention, so much, it's bad attention, but in reality, it's the opposite. It shouldn't even be that way. And so it says, "Blessed are ye whom men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manners of evil against you, falsely for my sake." So blessed are those men who shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manners of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. So that means that you shouldn't feel saddened. You shouldn't feel shameful because you're a TI. You should actually feel blessed because you're being persecuted by the whole world, by masses of people, wherever you go, wherever you move to. You're always going to get persecuted because you're doing the right thing. And these people try to misunderstand you, mislabel you, misjudge you. So, the reason why is because we are some empowered individuals. Especially when we've never even done any of those things that they falsely, allegedly make up about us. Create a profile about us that isn't even real. And, we all know that the devil is a liar, that we have an enemy, and that's the devil. And that just goes to show you that you're on the right side. You're on the right side. You're exactly where you should be. And people say God calls everyone. I mean, God chooses everyone. No. Some people are chosen, and they don't even know that they're chosen. God chooses certain people, and He sets them apart. He makes them peculiar. He makes them different. He puts the Holy Spirit within them. See, I've been persecuted all my life. I've been persecuted all my life, from the day that I was little up until now. And, a bunch of lies that were being spoken about targeted individuals that they speak about. So yeah, we do have an enemy. And we happen to be right in the middle of the enemy's target. So what we have to remember is that, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against wickedness. So the spirit within people, that's exactly what is controlling them. And you know what's crazy? It's that that those people who supposedly knew you and were on your side, and they so quickly turn their backs on you, they're just misled. They're just lost. And even the ones that are jealous, envious of you, it was easier to mislead those people into making them go against you, because they already carried negative emotions towards you, and so it was easier for them to just control them, because jealousy and envy, it's a very strong emotion, and if they were already looking for a reason to not like you, to go against you, then that lie that was shown to them, it just makes that feeling just stronger. So what does Satan go out and do? What do these people go out and do? They go and persecute God's children, the hidden ones, the ones that are hidden. And he persecutes them. The ones that don't stand out, the underdogs, the ones that people underestimate, the ones that people saw as less than, the ones that people thought they weren't that divinely special, chosen ones. And Satan has made us feel that way for the longest time. And he goes out and tries to persecute God's children. So he uses deceit and trickery and blatant lies against God's chosen ones. God's children. You know how bad that is to do that? That's playing with fire. Because the fire is around us, protecting us. Each one of us. We all have that fire of faith, of that spirit, of holiness, of righteousness. And we're highly protected. Very protected. They have no clue who they're coming up against. And it's like they don't learn. Like every time they try to do something bad and it doesn't go accordingly, they can't. Because what was destined for us will always be destined for us. No one can get in the way of that. No one. And even if we have a life full of suffering, a life full of heartaches and confusion, we still have an eternal prize. Because there's so many of targeted individuals, chosen ones, who are suffering right now, who are homeless, who are not even getting medical help that they need. And they're not getting the proper care, proper food, proper nourishment, proper love. And so yeah, it's a dark dimension in which they distorted this world into. And so and if you think about it, this world is run by a bunch of criminals. I mean, they've given people authority to rule over someone else. And injustice. And they have that illusion of authority. It's not, it's an illusion of authority. And we're seeing that every day. So this is an insane problem that we have in the world. Giving the authority to just anyone. But God has given us authority as well over each one of them. You understand what I'm getting at? God has given us authority over each one of them to rebuke them, to cast them out. God deliver us as well. He delivers us from demonic attacks, from demonic oppression. I know God is so real, you guys. God is very real. I was going through under heavy spiritual attack. Heavy spiritual attack. And I kept listening to gospel music. I kept reading the Bible, the scriptures out loud, and he delivered me. And they never have tried that again because it didn't work. They tried it, all the weapons, all at once. So many people coming against me, and it didn't work. I'm still moving forward. I didn't stay stuck because I know that just shows. It just shows what God can do in your life. That test was it was one of the most tough tests I've ever gone through. Wow. And so when I say God is actually real, he very much is. He definitely is. I don't know what I would do without him. I really don't know what I would do without him. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to get to this point, to get this far in life. And that's what we have to constantly remind ourselves. He's never given up on us. He's never let us down. He's never betrayed us. And God is close to those that are brokenhearted. And it's true. It's very true. You know how many wicked people have tried to come against you guys? Me as well. And they've tried. And it didn't go through. It didn't work. It didn't work. It really doesn't work. Because they can't destroy what they didn't create. And I kept saying that. People can't destroy what they don't create. They didn't create us. God created us in His image, the way that He intended us to be. They can't change us. They can't make us different. If we stick to God, if we actually are faithful to Him, and we believe in what He says, then we're good. They're so jealous of our favor from God. God, they can't destroy God's people. I mean, even if we lose everything, we still don't lose God. God has us all separated and scattered. Allows me to do random acts of kindness. Demons look at our downfall from the physical aspect. When you are chosen, we know better. We see results spiritually. This is how they get defeated. Exactly. But we need to pray that that God opens people's hearts. So, I mean, yeah. Fast and pray is key.